Let's look at crossing over in detail now. As we know, it happens during prophase 1 of meiosis 1. What happens during crossing over is, it's the exchange of segments between non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosomes. So let's look at a set of just one pair of chromosomes. Consider one pair of homologous chromosomes. So we're not taking it through division part, just looking at the crossing over part. And let's call it chromosome number 1 pair. Yeah? So that's chromosome number 1 and another row, chromosome number 1. As we know, we get one from the mother, one from the father. Okay? The two chromosomes that we've got have exactly the same genes. Gene is nothing else but a part of this DNA. So, say for example, this part of the DNA, we call it as one gene. It controls one character or trait, like the height. Say if it's of a plant or anything, say this gene. So one gene controls one trait. Right? For example, the height. Okay? And each trait can be expressed in two ways. Again, height, let's take this example, can appear as tall or it can appear as short. Another trait like color of hair, it could be black or brown. Color of eyes, texture of hair, curly or straight. Okay? So each trait can be expressed in two ways. And these two ways, two expressions of a gene are called alleles. So tall and short are the alleles for height. Yes? Height is the trait. Tall and short are its alleles. All good up to here? Right. Out of the two alleles, one is said to be dominant. One is said to be dominant. And the scientists have discovered it all. Right? The dominant one is given a capital letter. Say, in the case of height, tall is found to be dominant over short. So short is recessive allele. So this one's given the letter of capital T. This one's been given the letter of lowercase t. So if you get, for example, if you get a capital T from one of your parents and a small t from the other parent, you will appear to be tall. Why? Because tallness is dominant over shortness. Yeah? If you get both big T's, you're going to be tall anyways. So when are you going to be short? When you get both small T's. Yeah.
Aren't there more short people than tall?
Yeah, there's a variety, and that's because of some exceptions to the rule.
True.
Yeah, because we don't find just tall and just short. We find the midways as well. So those are exceptions. But for now, every trait expresses itself in two ways, ideally. And out of those two ways, which are called alleles, one is dominant, the other one is recessive. Okay? So this is what they observed. They looked at the genes If a person has two different alleles, which one shows up? When you look at the person, which one shows up? That one's considered as the dominant one, the one that expresses itself. Okay? So this is how it was defined. Right, coming back to that, let's look at an example. Say this chromosome has the allele A, capital A, which is dominant for some trait. It could be height. And they've got another gene that is also of the dominant type. The other parent passes on the recessive alleles for the same trait. We could have put a big T and small t here as well. Doesn't really matter. Give any sign in the edges. But if it's a B here, it has to be a B here. Because the genes are the same. Okay? So this is how it works. We could have the same ones, we could have the different alleles. Because we've got two of them. So what exactly happens in crossing over? Before crossing over, before prophase, what happens to these chromosomes during interphase? They double up. So interphase will make two chromatids. And interphase is just this bit making a copy of itself. So that'll just be the same thing. So if it's a capital A here, it's going to be a capital A here as well. Yeah? If it's a capital B here, it'll be a capital B here as well. Because this is DNA replication, exact copy. Same for the other chromosome. Joined at the centromere. So this one had a small a. This will also have a small a. Right. In crossing over, this and this are going to exchange their segments. Imagine a situation that crossing over does not happen. So let's look at that first so that you know what difference does crossing over make. If there was, yeah?
Why is there four A's on the
Did I get some? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so this should have been
Is that a pair of
there. Yes.
Is it in different colors because
Yeah, I'm showing it in different colors so that you can see the difference after crossing over.
so it's homologous chromosome?
But they are similar chromosomes. So chromosome number 1 and 1. Okay? Now they're ready to go through prophase. But imagine in prophase 1, they do not cross over. So when they do not cross over, they're going to stay as it is. And remember, after prophase meiosis 1, they'll just go to different cells. And after meiosis 2, these two sisters will separate. So if there is no crossing over in the resulting 4 cells, each of these will go to different gametes. So this one will have a big A, big B, this as well, and this will have small a, small b, and this as well. Okay? If there is no crossover, how many types of gametes do we get? Types. This is one type, this is the other type. So we get 2 types. We get 4 gametes, but 2 types of gametes. Right? Now let's see when crossing over happens, and it does happen. Right? So let's take those. They exchange their segments, and when they separate into gametes, this one will be all that. This one, nothing happens to this one. How would this one look like?
So you have black and then you have two orange.
Yeah, so in the middle it'll be all black, but you would have different alleles here. Okay, what about this one?
This one we have all the orange and then also black.
Yeah. So this and this, right? So for this one, because we're looking at two of the genes, what do I write here? Capital A and capital B. What's happened to this one?
Yeah.
Small a and small b. This one gets capital A and capital B, and this one gets a small a and small b.
And how many types is that?
4 different types, because even though they both have small a, small b, everything in the middle is different. This one's from the mom, this one's from the
It's
dad.
not saying the more variety and the variety.
Exactly, that's what we're coming down to. So a crossing over gives us 4 different type of gametes. Listening carefully, Ibrahim. So we get 4 different type of gametes at the end, and that is the importance of crossing over. It helps bring about variations. And the more the variety, the more the chances of survival. Okay? So variations contribute to evolution, which is evolving of the species. Evolving is changing of the species. It's constantly changing its traits, its alleles.
With natural selection.
Yeah, that's ultimately it leads to natural selection. If there's more variety, yes. After that, there's say a disaster, something happens. Only those who adapt to the changed environment, they're gonna survive. So the more variety we have, the more chances of someone surviving. If they're all the same, they might all die.
And you know for organisms that reproduce asexually, they have less variation, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's another major question.
advantage.
Yeah, difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. Asexually reproducing organisms produce exact replicas. So there's no variation. So if something happens to the environment, they all die.
It's unique, like we want them like so males have unique and
Yeah.
mitosis has identical.
Yes. Unique means its own. It's different from its parents. So if I ask you in the exam, what makes us unique? You will say the process of meiosis and crossing over. And the process of sexual reproduction. It makes us, because we get half of the genes from one parent, half from the other. We are a mixture. That makes us different. And then when the gametes were made, that made us different as well. Okay? So this is the details about crossing over.